Hello guys and welcome to a new series that I'm trying out, the Get to Know the Track. And this time we are in the Suzuka in Japan, and of course this is in Assetto Corsa. We are sitting in the Audi GT3 Evo. How this is going to work, I'm going to do a couple of laps, talk around the track as to what I'm doing, the lines I'm taking, braking points, braking zones, where to go on the throttle and so on. And afterwards we will go into the replay together and we will look at the replay from outside the car so you can see the lines better, not in VR, which will also enable you to see a bit better, I believe. And so yeah, just first enjoy these few laps and hopefully I won't embarrass myself and crash out. Let's go. Suzuka is a rather long track, with lap times around 2 minutes. Of course, my lap times are a bit longer than that, for a couple of seconds. But anyway, running down to the first corner, brake right before the access road on the left. Keep it tight around this one. I was a bit early on the throttle here. Then just a lift off, dab of brakes to get the nose turned in, don't run too wide. The first sector is very easy to lose seconds. I mean, not seconds, tenths of a second. And also very easy to gain some time or run wide here as I've done right now. Don't do that. Maybe this series should be called How Not to Drive a Track. Anyway, carrying on. Coming up to the famous spoon corner, brake again right before that access road on the right. Let the car run out wide, too wide in this case. It's very important to get a good exit after the spoon corner because this long straight comes afterwards, and of course the very famous 130R, which is very understeery in the Audi. Some cars might be able to take that in full throttle. As you may have seen, I had to lift to get through 130R. As we come up for the next lap, you need to remember to shift. It's always a good thing to do. It was quite a slow lap, but no matter. Let's go again. So again, brake in, down to third, straighten the car out, down to second, keep it close. Again, lift, turn it in, dab of brakes to get the nose turned in here, don't run out wide. Again, slight lift, use the curb, down to second. Alright, that wasn't that bad, I believe. Use the curb on the inside as much as possible. It helps to turn the car around. It has a nice camber to it. Then here, right at the end of the rumble strip on the right, stomp on the brakes, tight around the hairpin, and accelerate out. Again, a little moment to relax. The spoon is off camber, so it's really easy to lose a whole lot of time there. Here, brake around 120 meters. Can take a bit of curbs at the chicane, but not too much. It just upsets the car way too much. It's better to avoid them. All right, let's see. How did we do? 2 minutes, 2 seconds, and 7 tenths. Really hard to concentrate and drive at the same time. I mean, talk and drive at the same time. So I'll try doing one in silence. All right, not too bad. 2 minutes, 1 second, and 8 tenths. Of course, not the fastest time in the world. I'm sure a lot of you guys are capable of a lot faster times. But yeah, this is right about on my limit. So yeah, this was 3 laps, I believe, around Suzuka. We are going to jump into the replay. I'm going to jump out of the VR headset and take you around the Suzuka again, just explaining the things a bit more in detail, what I'm doing, how I'm taking the corners and so on, in a replay where I can stop and take my time. So yeah, thank you for watching so far, and I'll see you in a moment. All right, let's do this as we come up over the finish line for the final lap. The one that I did the fastest. We come up to the first braking point. I'm going to pause the video here for a little bit. I believe I called it in the video, I mean, while driving the access road. I really don't know what to call it, but it's a patch of asphalt. And also you have this 50-meter board here that you can use as breakpoint references. This is what I use, and I brake just a bit before this road, around 10 meters before this board. They are both very good visible here from the cockpit as well. And yeah, let's go back to video, and as you can see, here is where I start to brake. So it's about 70-80 meters away from the corner. Your braking point will vary depending on your setup and car, but it's a good reference point, a good starting point. As soon as I start braking, I start to turn my car to the right. Sorry, I forgot to turn on the HUD. As you can see, I just got on the brakes. I'm starting to brake here, and my wheel is starting to turn a bit to the right as well, because I want to hit this this inside curb here. And if I resume the video, Yeah, let's go a bit faster. Let's see, as I come close to the curb, I come off the brakes. It's maybe a bit too soon. As you can see, I'm already running a bit wide. I'm already being pushed a bit out, even though the corner has a nice camber. But yeah, I come off the brakes and I just got some understeer. Car starts pulling to the outside. You don't want that. You want to stay on this curb, on the inside. You want to come off the brakes here. You might get off with braking even later and not accelerating out of here. It really depends on the car, but this is how I take it. I brake a bit sooner. I come off the brakes here. I accelerate because I tend to have a bit of understeer, oversteer, a bit backhand gets a little bit happy at this point. So I come off the brakes and I add some throttle. I accelerate again to get the backhand planted a little bit again, and then I brake again. But yeah, this is where you want to end up, on the middle part of this curb, and you want to be hard on the brakes again. You want to start turning in about here towards this inside curb, where you need to be a little bit patient. It's a long corner, rather long corner here. You have to look for your exit from this position here. You have to start looking for your exit where you want to end up on. And yeah, just stay as close as possible to this curb. You can run over it. Maybe in some cars you can't, but yeah, again, I'm a bit wide, but it's okay. And you want to start accelerating a little bit before the apex, and because you can run quite wide here, and as you will see. Although in this attempt I didn't run as wide as I could. I could have been maybe a half a car's width or a whole car's width more to the left. And immediately as you come up to this point, you want to turn your car to the right. You want to get to the outside of to the right side of the track here for the next corner to get the best line into it as possible. And right about here, you start turning in. You need to aim for this rumble strip on the left. Sorry, my cat is annoying a little bit. And yeah, I do come off the throttle to load the fronts a little bit to transfer that weight into the front, into the front tires, so they bite, and I'm able to turn in. I'm still off the throttle, and I start to accelerate. About here, you want to aim for this green thing here. You want to be on this curve. It helps you to turn through the corner, and you don't want to run wide. You have to come out of the corner around in the middle of the track, maybe even a little bit more to the left, like I am here, for example. Because if you run wide here, your entry to the next corner will be compromised, and if you compromise the entry to this corner, you will run wide here or you will slow down. It's the only two options. And then you will compromise the entry to the next corner, and so on and so on. Because all of those S's are so tightly packed together, yeah, you really have to find the perfect flow, not run too wide, and yeah, just be patient through here. It's a really not that high speed area, so. All right, and here I am on the brakes and aiming for the inside corner again. It can happen, it has happened a couple of times to me that I took this corner a bit too hard. I went too hard on the curb, and yeah, I either spun out or was just ejected from it then and ended up in the gravel pit on the outside. Again, aim for the green thing here. Use the curb, get back on the power. Not too early though, you don't want to get too wide again. I could have maybe gone a little bit wider here as I have been here in my attempt. Maybe half a car's width would be perfect. And then again, full throttle and entry to the next corner. I have taken a bit aggressive line into it. You don't want to do that here. You want to run a little bit wider and a little bit later entry. This green thing again between the grass and the rumble strip is again your target area where you want to be looking at. This is what you're aiming for. And as you will see here, I am way too soon on the curb, which will compromise my exit from the corner. As you can see, I'm already being pushed out because I turned in too quick. I will go out quicker. And yeah, you want to ride this whole green thing around here, have the curb pull you along, and get a good entry into the next corner. I don't have it. I've ran out too wide. You want to be at least a full car's width more to the left than I am right now here. But yeah, it is what it is. Again, a bit of brakes, off the throttle, down a gear, keep it on close on this curb, and exit. Again, be patient in this corner. Patience is absolute key in this corner. It is so easy to go on the throttle too quick and you will end up way too wide out here. You don't want that. The road to the next corner is not that long. You want to stay around on the middle, right about where you can see this darker patch of rubber. That should be your aim coming out of this corner. And then immediately you want to go to the right side again and start watching for the turning point I mean, you want to aim for this inside curb here as your reference where you want to end up. Again, I'm off the throttle to help the car bite in the front to turn it around. And yeah, so I'm running into the corner. I'm a bit wide here again. And you want to get on the throttle as quickly as possible here. But beware, I'll show you soon why. If you're too quick on the throttle, you will run wide on this corner. As you can see, this corner is very off camber, meaning the road is leaning this way. And actually, maybe, how should I? Yeah, you can see in relation to the car, the right side is lower, and meaning the natural geometry of the track will pull you to the outside, and if you're too quickly on the throttle, this will just go out wider sooner, and you really don't want that. Here in this attempt, I am quite tight. I could have gone a bit sooner on the throttle, but those are really minor details. I mean, minor differences in time when I got on the throttle or not. And yeah, all right. But if you run too wide here, this will end badly. You have to get off this curb as quickly as possible. If you're running too wide, lift off, brake, whatever you need to do, just get off this curb. If you don't, there's a nasty bump right about here. It will upset your car so badly, you will either end up here in this kitty litter over here, or yeah, you will just have to be braking so hard to get back onto the track. Otherwise, you just end up in this patch of grass and it won't be a good time. The length to the next corner is quite significant, so that's why the exit is so important, because it's super easy to lose time here again. And here we go. Here we are at the next one. You want to brake around in the middle between these two, around 70, 80, maybe 90 meters. Hard brake, not a very long braking area. Hard brake, then aim for the inside. As soon as you pass this 50-meter board, you want to start turning in. This should be your entry point. And you want to aim for this curb, maybe a bit after the 50 meters board, if I'm honest. But yeah, aim for the inside. You want to go deep over the inside curb. As you can see, there's a lot of rubber on it. And again, the track is again turned this way, and it has a lot of camber down here, and it helps the car turn around. So as soon as you hit this inside curb, back on the throttle, run out wide. You have the space here. I could have gone a little bit further, but for the Audi, the previous curb was a bit upsetting to the car, and yeah, it's even visible in the video that I had to react to this a little bit. Yeah, right here you can see how the car is being disturbed. See, it just loses it a little bit in the end. I have to correct for a little bit, and then here it's really hard to spot your braking point. Maybe you can use this orange thing on the left on the barriers. But yeah, this is around when you want to start braking. So when this orange thing is around in your here in your position, of course this changes with your view settings and everything, but maybe you can also use the different colors of the rubber laid down on the track. But yeah, that's around the time when you want to start going on the brakes. Here, I'm already on the brakes, I'm already braking. And yeah, again, run on the curb, extend your track as much as you can. I could have been a bit more to the left, but nothing too dramatic. I'm already turning in, aiming for this inside. You want to take it as much as possible. Again, be careful. It is bumpy, but the camber here is worth it. It just pulls you around, and yeah, as soon as you're off this curb, you can start accelerating again. I did run a little bit wide. That's why I'm also running wide on the exit, and have compromised my exit a little bit. But yeah, still a rather good run through the corner. And now we come up to the hairpin. And again, you want to be all the way to the left, run over this curb on the inside as much as you can. Don't go on the grass, it will upset the car. And towards the end, or right at the end of this curb, go on the brakes. Heavy on the brakes. The car will still be naturally pulled to the middle of the track. Fight this as much as you can, but be careful, you can oversteer into the corner quite easily because you're heavily on the brakes and you don't want to introduce too much steering lock. All right, so entry to the hairpin. Keep it tight, get on the inside curb as much as you can, more than I have. I'm actually off the curb completely. And yeah, just be patient again, turn the car around and go on throttle. I was maybe a fraction of a second too quick on the throttle. I could have let the car turn a bit more before going on the throttle. But yeah, it is what it is. So then you have a moment to relax. You have all this road here. It's a long right-hander. And to the next corner, the spoon. And here we have another access road, patch of asphalt, whatever. You want to keep an eye out on this. This is where we want to start braking. Or rather, right before it. As you can see, I'm already fully on the brakes here. So let's see. Yeah, maybe 10 meters before this patch, but again, your braking points might vary slightly. And you want to try and use this green stuff a little bit more than I did, and use a late turn into here, into the first part of the spoon. I ran a little bit wide here, maybe a bit more steering lock would have helped. And yeah, your exit should be right about here. And yeah, you can start accelerating again. Actually, you should start accelerating again. Pull the car to the outside, use the whole road here. Yeah, here's the exit, and maybe 5-10 meters after you hit the curb should be your braking point for the final corner of the spoon, or the second corner of the spoon. And use a late entry. I didn't, again. I was a bit too tight here. Or actually, the entry wasn't that bad, but I went then a bit too deep on the curb. The curb pulled me way too much on the inside. And as you can see, again, I have to correct. I have to go right, because otherwise I would have spun here off the end of the curb here. Yeah, you can even see the tail end of the car shifting a little bit. And yeah, then just floor it. It's a long straight. Exit here is super important. You can lose so much time here. You can use this exit curb a lot. Don't be afraid to use it. Yeah, and on we go to the 130R, the most scary corner on the whole track. As you can see, a lot of rubber here. There really isn't any braking here. I don't think you have to brake in any car here. I have to lift in the Audi, otherwise I just run super wide on the exit. I think I even lift completely, yes. But you should aim for the inside of the curb. The entry point should be this orange thing behind the 50-meter board. Actually, when you are, when you are coming up to the corner, as you can see, the orange thing is almost invisible. So this is half speed now, but you can see that's the 100 board, then the 50 meters board. Here's that orange thing that I've been talking about. That's what I usually use as my entry point. And from here, I start aiming for the inside curb. You can go really, really crazy on this curb. Just run it over. Play with the throttle, see what works best for you. You can run wide here quite significantly. I'm almost on the limit. I could have gone maybe a couple of more centimeters out wide, but that's pretty much it. But it's still super wide, and you have the track available here. And then for the final chicane, as for the braking point, again, very hard to spot. As you can see, this color of the rubber changes here, and this is where you need to start braking. But this is not on the 100-meter board, not on this orange patch. It's a little bit before the 100-meter board. So you want to start braking now, actually here. Yeah, a little bit, maybe a little bit sooner. But yeah, that's around 130, 140 meters maybe. And let's go see the chicane. Yeah, it's a very hard deceleration area. You're going from almost top speed down to first gear, and as turn in, you kind of want to start turning when this first curb turns away. This is your turn in point, and you want to nail this first curb. Again, it depends on the car. The Audi can be upset about this curb here, as I believe it was the case here, or actually no, it was quite okay. As the second curb, it does upset the car quite a lot, so I tend not to take too much of it and just be on the throttle as soon as possible. I was maybe a bit too quick into the first corner of the chicane. You might want to be a little bit more tighter here, so you have a more open line into the second one, and you can accelerate sooner. This is around the time you want to start accelerating, and the car should be pointing a bit more to the left, as mine is currently. And yeah, ride that outside curb, but before you get to the end, get off it. Here, it's a nasty bump if you stay on it. So get off the curb here and just, wrong direction. And then just run to the line. And that's a lap of Suzuka. And as you can see, or as you will be able to see, I did it in 2 minutes, 1 second. And 8/10 if I remember correctly. Not the fastest lap. I'm sure a lot of people are a lot faster around here, but I would say a decent lap, at least for someone of my skill level. But yeah, this is it. If you enjoyed this type of content, please subscribe to the channel. I will provide more of those in the future. And if you liked the video, leave a thumbs up. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.